behave themselves today. Hi from sunny Cornwall. Hello Facebook. Hello YouTube. How is everybody? I was just chatting to our friends here on Instagram. Don't forget I've got both platforms going at the same time, multitasking obviously, and that is really handy because if one goes down then you know to hop over on the other. So on Instagram I'm on Earle Wellbeing platform, and if you are on Facebook, I'm on the Earle Wellbeing magazine Facebook page. Oh, look, you've got your concert tickets. Well done, well done. Yeah, so the concert, so this is my annual, well, it should be annual. Last year it was obviously regrettably cancelled. Charity concert for my charity Live Twice, which is a humanitarian aid charity that I founded in 2010 when Kim and I sold the beauty company. So I wanted to do something, you know, leave a legacy really. And that's when we started. And I've got a great lineup and my brother's going to be doing the music. He's an organist at Canterbury Cathedral. We've got some fantastic musicians. Those of you who've been before will know that it's really fun. It's quite interactive. We sing and we have a good time and we all share a glass of something fizzy and a mince pie afterwards, and it's going to be really good. So it's in Chelsea in a really lovely church. In the centre of town, very near Sloane Square if you're coming by public transport. And yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting everybody. I really, really am. And so are my team. So anyway, there are tickets. It's on Eventbrite, the platform, but I know that we've got links on various social media channels. And of course, if you got your newsletter on Friday, then that's the link is there for all subscribers. Okay, so today, now, before I get going with my amazing guest from Bare Biology, we're going to be talking omega-3s, we're going to be talking mood, mental health, depression, anxiety. I took my chill pill this morning. Actually, I took more than one. I took 5, as recommended by Zana Morris. Did you see me on Monday with her? So this is something that I'm adding in now as an extra. It's pantothenic acid, and this is the one that she says is particularly good to help with mood and just be uplifting and calming, and of all of the B vitamins. I mean, we know that the B vitamins all work together, don't they, for stress and nervous tension and all of that, but the chill pill would be a good one to add in. So thank you very much to Zana. And of course we do have our Liz Loves affiliate discount, 15% off everything at Strong Nutrients. I know there's been a lot of chat about Amino Slim and creatine and all of that good stuff. If you haven't watched it, if you didn't catch it, please go back and watch Mondays because it was a really good one, and it'll be up on YouTube if you want to check it out there, or it's still up on the Earle Wellbeing Instagram under IGTV, under that section, and of course you can find it on Facebook if you scroll through. So thank you very much, Lainey. I've just seen you pop up on Facebook. So Lainey is manning Facebook and we'll put links up as we talk. But okay, drum roll. I wish I had a drum roll. I need my brother actually here because he would be able to play something magnificent, either on an organ or a piano or something, probably trumpets as well. But this is the new cover of Earle Wellbeing magazine, and it's very festive. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for this? Because it's probably the most kitschly Christmas thing I have ever done. It stars one of our famous four-legged friends. And here it is. This is not the actual magazine because that hasn't actually arrived yet, but this is the proof of the cover. There we go. Oh, what do you think? Isn't that hysterical? I mean, I have to say, thank you for all the hearts. I love that. Lots of hearts going on Instagram. When Polly, who's my strategic director, kind of commercial director, managing editor of the magazine, when she first said, oh, go on, Liz, I think you love Christmas so much and it's a time to be really jolly and festive. We should just do something really crazy, like put you in a Christmas hat and, you know, just go all out. And I thought, do you know what? That's exactly what we're going to do. So not only did I get my sparkly hat on, but I put Basil in a little hat and a little Christmas tie. I'm glad you love it because I just think it's crazy. So anyway, so this will arrive on your doormats if you're a subscriber, which I'm seriously hoping everybody watching here is a subscriber. Probably from the beginning of next week. I wanted to kind of wait until bonfire night was out of the way because I thought, you know, this is so Christmassy. it just doesn't seem right if we're all, you know, holding sparklers and things. So anyway, so yeah, these are just some of the little things inside. You know, there's wreath making and festive snacks and decorations and homemade presents. These are beauty bath bombs that you can make. I mean, lots of really, really good. I know, Basil, isn't that so great? So there's so much in this edition. And, you know, to celebrate, we have got a really special subscriber offer. So if there is anybody that hasn't yet subscribed who is watching, or if you would like to give a gift subscription, okay, brilliant Christmas gift, because you get 6 issues throughout the entire year. So for me, it's like the gift that keeps on giving all year, yeah? So if you've got members of your family, girlfriends, colleagues, mothers, daughters, cousins, friends that don't subscribe to the magazine, this is an amazing way to give it to them or to take out your own, because for a limited time and with a limited number, we have an amazing, I love this cream. This is a really, really good face cream. And they've given us a full size, and the full size face cream retails at £75. £75, and you get it free with your magazine subscription, okay? So I'm just telling you guys first. Hopefully, if there's any left, it will go into the newsletter on Friday. So if you're watching this on catch up, then, you know, maybe. Does Basil get royalties? Don't suggest that. Shh, she'll be after an appearance fee and all sorts. Or her fur mama will anyway, Lily. So grab this while you can. If you haven't subscribed and would like to subscribe, seriously, this is an amazing offer. Thank you very much to our lovely friends up in the Hebrides, Outer Hebrides even. This antioxidant marine cream, I just love it. It's really good for sensitive skin. It smells great, and it's got seaweed extract in it, which has so many remarkable properties. I'm going to pop some actually on my hands because I do really, really love it, okay? So this, lovely, lovely, like a comfort blanket for your skin, actually. Oh, it's great. It smells. I'm transported up to the Outer Hebrides just smelling it. So fresh, lovely, not sticky at all. It's just smooth and delicious. Anyway, if you would like to get that, so basically there's still the offer. You still get 6 issues for the price of 5. So you still get a free offer, free P&P in the UK, all of that. If you want to keep the face cream, £75 worth of face cream, if you want to keep that for you, all you have to do is ring Warners and tell them. Because otherwise, if you put it through online, the same person gets the magazine, also gets the face cream. So, I mean, amazing present. What an, amazing double present for somebody. If you're feeling super generous, because it's not going to cost you any extra, they'll just send it free. Or you can just have the magazine sent to somebody that you love and care about, and then get the cream sent to you separately. But you do need to let Warners know if you want it separately sent to you. Okay, you ready for a new face cream, Isabel? Seriously, I love it. I do love it. I don't say that about very many things. And I do know a thing or two about face creams. Anyway, let us crack on. Do you know, talking about comfort blankets, before we get in, I just want to share another quick thing with you. Before we get into the main chat with Bear Biology, and I apologise for keeping our lovely founder waiting. Hopefully, Melanie, hopefully you will hang on for just 2 seconds, because I just wanted to mention something that I've been using, and I bought actually for my kids because they found it really helpful. Have you heard of weighted blankets when it comes to anxiety and improving sleep and just kind of calming? It just kind of calms the central nervous system. So anybody with any spectrum disorders, any neurotypical, kind of ADD, ADHD, anxiety, when you just want a bit of comfort. And I love it, actually. This is what I use for myself. I'm just going to bring it over here. I have one. It's quite heavy because it is weighted. So this is a really lovely brand. I've tried a few, and this is the one that I really like. It's called Calm Koala. And they come in different weights and different sizes. You can look them up on their website. We have managed to get a 10% off Liz Loves, okay? Calm Koala. And it's spelt with a K. Calm Koala. So think of K for koala and K for calm. Calmkoala.com, is it, Lainey? Yeah, calmkoala.com gets you, Liz Loves, all in capitals, all one words, gets you 10% off their weighted blankets. They are really good quality, and all my kids now, virtually all of them, sleep under a weighted blanket, and it really gives you a great night's sleep. Yeah, it's this one. I can't remember the weight of this one. Hopefully, I will do a whole deep dive into weighted blankets because I do think they're great. If you go onto their website, it's got guidelines. It depends on your weight as to, you know, how much weight you want. This is a kind of a medium weight one. This one, actually, I can tell you. Has it got it on here? No, it hasn't. Just says koala blanket. Anyway, it's really deliciously soft and great, and you can get singles and doubles, and it's really good. I use that over my duvet. Okay, I'm being asked questions. Oh, yes, you're right. There is a sale on, and the discount works on top of the sale price. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Really, really good to know that. So they are excellent. So basically, it's just like a counterpane. It just goes on top of your normal bedding, and really, really good. Okay, I just think it's absolutely fantastic. I've had no issues with them at all. My kids have been using them for a while, and yeah, really, really good. Wow, what's this? Betty is saying, okay, so it should be £199, and if you use the Liz Loves discount, it goes down to £71.10. Oh my goodness, that's over, what? It's over £100 off, £120 off. Blimey. Okay, right. Okay, make a note. Calm Koala, K-A-L-M, Koala. Make sure, do have a look online. Make sure that you get the right weight. And yeah, absolutely brilliant. I do love it. It's just, oof. Yeah, so who's this? Lots of people using them here. Yeah, you put yours on top of the duvets, that silver driver, and you like that. Yeah, does it feel good? I have to say, I have the best night's sleep. I mean, I don't actually have any major spectrum disorders, not that I'm aware of, or even particularly anxiety, but it is just, I think it's something to do with calming the parasympathetic nervous system. And actually, I have heard that particularly with children with autism, they can wear weighted jackets sometimes in class or just at home, and it's just something about that pressure on the body. Just a little bit, not much, just a little bit. It's not too warm, no, it's just a slight heaviness. You know, it's great. I mean, if you are really susceptible to being hot, I guess you just put a sheet and then sleep under that. That would be fine too, so you could adjust it to you. But anyway, I just mentioned that as an aside, but there's clearly a lot of interest. So maybe I'll come back and do a whole deep dive and a deep chat into weighted blankets, because I think the whole thing is fascinating. But yeah, thank you very much, Betty, for reminding us. Amazing savings on calmkoala.com at the moment. And the Liz Loves code works on top. So you get double benefit. Right, talking about double benefit, let us have a look now at what we're actually meant to be talking about today, which is things that can really help with mental health. I guess it all connects, doesn't it? It's mental health, brain health. Yeah, you can wash it. Yeah, it helps to ground you. But I'm not going to carry on talking about weighted blankets, okay? They are really, really good. I will come back and revisit it. Just make a note of the discount. Okay, so I wonder if Melanie's used weighted blankets. Let us see. Right, I have accepted you. So, oh, hi, how are you? I'm so sorry to keep you waiting.
Not at all. I've literally written down Calm Koala so I can buy one for my eldest daughter.
Yeah, how old is she?
She's 15.
Perfect.
And I'm very stressed about GCSEs.
Really good idea. Okay, so I'm sure Brella won't mind me saying she's taken a weighted blanket from Calm Koala actually back to uni with her because she uses one at home. And then my 11-year-old also sleeps under one. And we also have one on the sofa. So if we're just like sitting watching TV or something, you know, and I've got a big double one and we'll actually sometimes sit under there together. I don't know what it is, but they are really effective.
Yeah.
Really effective. And that's a very good make. It's a good quality one. It's really well made. I mean, I did quite a bit of research before I went out and bought them. So tell me about what's been going on with you, because your brand is such a lovely omega-3 brand, and omega-3s are so important for brain health and for all ages. You know, they're one of the few things that I've given my kids. I mean, even Lily, who's now 30, she grew up on omega-3 supplements. You know, it's something that we need at every stage of life, isn't it? From young to old to midlife. And the more you learn about omega-3s, the DHA, the EPA, the more we realise how important they are, from gut health to brain health, everything. So what was your journey as a female brand founder? What really led you to do this extraordinarily brilliant line called Bare Biology, all about omega-3s?
Well, it was my experience on topic of sort of anxiety and mood and of postnatal depression. And I'd had OCD since I was a child, so I was, susceptible to mood disorders.
Yeah.
My mother was with postnatal depression after my brother was born. So when I got it with my second child, my son, I was, very scared of it really escalating. And was terrified of taking any sort of drugs or antidepressants or... Yeah. So I looked at nutrition, and that's when I discovered the importance of omega-3 and how pregnant women and mums and new mums can become so deficient in it, because a huge amount of our own omega-3 is used for the baby's brain and the eyes and nervous system.
Isn't that fascinating? So the baby, while it's growing during pregnancy, will take all of ours, basically.
And through the breast. Yeah.
And through breastfeeding as well. So that continues. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So really important that time.
Yeah. And I did, I left, children to my sort of early 30s, but then I wanted to I knew I wanted 3, and I'm very lucky to have 3, and I wanted to kind of do them fairly close together.
Yeah.
But then, you're pregnant, you're breastfeeding, you have a little pregnant, you're breastfeeding. And some experts think that it takes around 10 years to replenish your omega-3 levels after children.
Gosh, I remember feeding my kids, spoonfuls of omega-3, but not really thinking about myself, to be honest, thinking, well, I had the odd tuna sandwich, I'm sure I'm fine. But actually, it's so important, isn't it? And it is one of those supplements that I do absolutely take every day now. I mean, I do eat a reasonable amount of fish as well, but I think for those, who aren't having fish, and what's really interesting actually is we're not excluding here vegans and vegetarians, because this is also really impressive. I'd love to talk to you about this in your lovely sustainable eco packaging. This is from algae, and this contains the DHA and the EPA that is a vegan form. So really seriously important. If you're a plant-based eater, or you're not having fish, you don't like it for whatever reason, obviously if you're going to eat fish, I would always go for the main event here. But let's cover this one off quickly, because this also contains astaxanthin. And I was talking about astaxanthin with Papinder, who's the award-winning pharmacist behind Ingenious Beauty, which is the collagen capsules that I really like personally, and I take those every day myself. And hearing about astaxanthin being this amazing antioxidant. So you've put it here, because obviously collagen is, is not vegan. I mean, it can't be. But this is a really good option, isn't it? If you are vegetarian or vegan, you get your omega-3s and your astaxanthins. How does this work then if there's no fish involved?
So basically, the way fish get their omega-3s from eating algae. They're very good at converting it into EPA, DHA. So often people will eat things like flax seeds or chia seeds to get omega-3. But we only convert about 4% of that into EPA, DHA.
That's just so interesting. See, this is why I love talking to experts like you. Because it's all very well, you look at all these websites or whatever, all these, I don't know, social media influencers or whatever, and they go, yes, I can get, omega-3s, you find that in flax seeds and chia seeds. You go, yes, but how much do you actually absorb? Okay, if you're only getting 4% of what you're eating, I mean, that's, bit pants, isn't it, really, in terms of, bang for your buck. You're not really getting very good value. Or you may be lulling yourself into a sense of false security that you're getting all your omega-3s because you've had some chia seeds on your granola or whatever. But actually, it's not really doing anything, is it?
No, it's not. So that's where algae is brilliant. And as you say, it was not an odd one for us to launch an algae product, but we are a very fishy brand. And
very fishy,
like you said,
yeah.
fishy in the good way, not in the bad way.
Yeah.
If you do fish oil, I think is still superior, but if you can't, then algae is fantastic. Taken us a while to get this product launched, to get the right kind of, because a lot of algae oils don't have EPA in them, so you only get the DHA.
Yeah.
And by adding in the astaxanthin, it's another, also from algae, it's another nutrient that is very difficult to get if you're plant-based, because algae is what makes things pink, interestingly.
Yeah, I learned that. I learned that from Papinda as well, that the salmon, the darker the salmon, the more astaxanthin it contains. So that's a really good tip as well if you're looking for, for buying salmon and getting things from your foods.
Yeah, definitely. And things like prawns, lobsters, flamingos. Not that we should.
Not that we're going to eat flamingo, but that's why they're pink, aren't they? Because they eat all the little, I don't know what, krill or whatever, and algae that's all bright pink.
Yeah. And you know how people talk a lot about you should eat the rainbow, and often you don't really know what that means, but it's basically, different colours provide different nutrients and have different processes in the body. So the pink colour is quite tricky.
Yeah.
And astaxanthin's amazing. A lot of people buy krill products for the astaxanthin.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's why krill became very popular. And people also buy krill thinking it's an omega-3, and there's really little to no omega-3.
So why would people take krill then? Are they taking it thinking they're getting omega-3?
So it's been very well marketed. It's one of those things that kind of took off a few years ago, but there are issues around sustainability on krill, and
interesting.
Won't carry krill products. So yeah, it's a bit of a funny one, but that is primarily the benefit of krill is the astaxanthin.
Fascinating stuff, isn't it? I mean, great for your skin too, astaxanthin. Let's talk about sustainability, because obviously, with all those, global leaders jetting in on their private jets to talk about climate change. How ironic is that up in Scotland? There's a lot of talk in the news at the moment about sustainability and green and all of that. Where do you get all your fish oils from, and are there issues around sustainability?
So we get all of our supply is certified by Friends of the Sea or the Marin Trust, who are two of the big sort of certifiers. They're wild fish. It sort of depends. The oils are made in Norway, but the fish, where stocks are at that time of year that are allowed to be fished. Yeah. Makes sense. Criteria. Manufacturer is in Norway, and the Norwegian government has really strict kind of guide on sustainability in fishing.
What I love about the oil, a lot of people here are commenting, particularly on Instagram, that they don't like swallowing capsules. So the oil is a really good option, and you can add this to shakes and smoothies or yogurt or anything, couldn't you? Or just take it as a teaspoonful. Really good, and it doesn't taste fishy. So why is that? If it's made from fish, why is it not tasting fishy?
Well, all down to the freshness.
Is it?
Yeah. So because it's a polyunsaturated fat, it goes off really quickly.
Right.
So with a very fresh oil. So when we first open the drum, you get like a faint, that lovely seaside smell you get, like a sort of sea air smell.
Yes, with ozone and freshness.
Yeah. And it's a bit like when you buy fresh fish. I grew up in Spain, and in the fishmongers, all the women buying the fish will be looking at the eyes and see how firm it is, and they'll give it a good sniff before they buy it.
Yeah.
And it's the same with fish oil. If it smells really bad and tastes really bad, it's oxidized. So with the liquids, that's why you keep them in the fridge, and they're in a dark bottle.
Got you.
If you
lovely.
For a few weeks, it would smell pretty bad.
Really, and they keep okay. I've seen, my goodness, Nikki, you've ordered 6 bottles. She's making the most of that Liz Loves discount. So great, go for it. Why not? So presumably, you can keep these once you get them. Keep them unopened. They're in a dark bottle. They're in a box. You could just pop these in the bottom of the fridge, could you?
Yeah, and you don't need to put them in the fridge until it's open.
Okay, great. That's good to know. That's really good to know. They must be super concentrated, your oils, because just reading the box here, 1 teaspoon, which is not very much, 1 small little teaspoon, 2,000 milligrams of EPA and 1,000 milligrams of DHA. So, I mean, that is highly concentrated stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, super. As far as I know, apart from maybe one brand in America, it is the highest amount you can get.
That's so great. You must be so proud of creating this beautiful brand and all these lovely things that you're doing.
Thank you.
That's really good. I mean, I'd take my hat off as, one brand founder to another. It's not easy. And it's, you're in a competitive space.
Very.
And you're doing something that's really good. And, you think of there are big boys out there, big players in this space. I won't name them, but there are some, serious big multinational companies. And here you are, sticking your neck out and working your socks off to bring us something that is genuinely good, really, really well sourced, beautifully presented. What is the difference now? Can you talk us through the EPA and the DHA? Why are both important here, and why do you have different amounts in your formula?
Mm-hmm. So the DHA is super important because it forms basically the structure of our brain. So I think brains are around 60% fat, and 20% of that is omega-3 and specifically DHA.
DHA, wow. And okay.
The DHA is literally like the building blocks of your brain cells, your eye tissue.
Gosh.
Why it's so important in pregnancy.
Yeah.
And, DHA does things like it keeps your cell membranes flexible, so your cells can talk to each other. It has a huge role to play in the structure of the brain. EPA is the anti-inflammatory omega-3.
Right.
So very good at dampening down. So most of us have chronic sort of local inflammation.
Yeah.
Either because of our diet, stress, lack of sleep, all those things. So EPA, reason why it's very good for people with inflammatory skin conditions, like rosacea.
Yeah, eczema, that's how I first started using EPA.
Yeah, it's amazing. In fact, a friend of mine had rosacea. I said, you really should take my fish oils. And she's just amazed in the space of weeks.
Amazing.
Went on from having to, really cake on the makeup because she's so self-conscious.
Yeah.
To it almost being gone. So, yeah, it's super anti-inflammatory.
Well, I love oils, I think, hopefully everybody here has heard me talk about oils and the importance. I've got some of my books and publications behind me. This one, if I can reach it. There you go. This was published 30 years ago this year. Vital Oils. That's how much oils mean to me. I used to have my nickname, at work one time was Liz Oil because I would just, always talk about oils. Yeah. So important. And, even back then, 30 years ago, talking about the importance of things like GLA from evening primrose oil, but particularly the omega-3s, the EPA and the DHA. Isn't that staggering that 20% of our brains are made of DHA, that omega-3 fat? And when we think, how much older most of us hopefully are living and the prevalence of degenerative cognitive function, we look at dementia, Alzheimer's, memory loss, brain fog, all of that. Our brains are so precious, aren't they? I mean, if you lose your brain, you're literally, you lose your mind, you lose your identity, you lose yourself. And I think we need to be more aware, perhaps more conscious of brain health. We talk about physical fitness and physical strength, and that's obviously really important as well. But we can't forget what's going on kind of inside the skull, can we?
No, I mean, we can't... yeah, I mean, nothing in your body works, and if your brain is not signaling in the right way, and I think now the number one cause of death in the UK.
Alzheimer's. It's terrifying.
Yeah,
it's really terrifying, isn't it?
We just ignore our brains, and we don't think of the things we're eating or inhaling as going into our brains. But I heard a fascinating thing recently. A guy in one of the UK universities has done a study into Alzheimer brains, and he's done the brains of people who died with it, and he's found high levels of aluminium in all of the brains. That is the one thing they have in common.
Wow. And where's that coming from then, do you think?
Well, it's in our food supply. It's in, cosmetics. I only heard literally recently this thing. We've just bought a really intense water filter to try and filter out some of these things. So it's in the water supply.
Fascinating.
So yeah,
I shall research. I shall do research
what you're
on
eating.
that. Yeah.
That's I'm going to look into but these things do lodge in your brain.
Yeah. Well, I think being able to fortify and strengthen our brains, as you say, to have the DHA that's going in as the healthy form of fat, and then the EPA being this anti-inflammatory effect. So fascinating. I mean, everything, whether we're talking about gut health, skin health, our immune system, cancers, heart disease, it's this process of inflammation, isn't it? Throughout the whole body that causes so much physical distress and dis-ease, illness and disease in the broader sense. So if we can just equip ourselves with things that are going to dampen that inflammation down in such an easy way. I mean, just a teaspoon of this. I mean, how easy is that? It doesn't actually get any easier, does it, really? I can't think of much that's easier than that and effective.
And I should add, if you are trying to reduce your inflammation, omega-6 is a bit of a problem. Well, it's a huge problem.
It is. So let's talk us through, because we've talked about omega. So basically the fats and oils are divided into 3, 6s and 9s, aren't they? So we've been talking about the good guys here, which are the omega-3s, the EPA and the DHA. Talk us through then the 6s in particular and why we should avoid those.
So 6s aren't totally bad in that we do need them. We just don't need so much, and we have far too much. So since the kind of introduction of diets of vegetable oils, that's a whole other subject, that are in everything we eat. If we eat processed food, it's in everything. You can't avoid it. And the ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 should be about 1:1. But it's in most Western diets around 25:1, so 25 omega-6 to 1 omega-3.
No, that's such a bad balance.
25
really to 1 when it should be 1:1.
Yeah.
So the omega-6s, we're looking at the seed oils, are we? Things like sunflower seed, safflower, corn oil.
Yeah, and I have to say, sadly, things that you think are healthy, which are healthy, but flaxseed, chia, all those plant-based sources of omega-3 are very high in omega-6.
So although they might contain omega-3, they're actually being balanced out by high amounts of omega-6 as well. So knocking the ratio out. Yeah.
And flax is amazing. It's really good for lots of other things.
Yeah.
But it's not the sort of perfect solution to your omega-3, omega-6.
No, for sure. And it doesn't really convert either, does it? Which is why the algae form is so much better for vegetarians or vegans who don't want to get, fish oil.
Definitely. And omega-9 is mostly found in olive oil, which, in the 70s, Brits didn't use olive oil, but now everyone uses oil all the time. So
yeah, which are good.
Need to supplement on that one either.
No, just I would just advise cooking with olive oil, and just forgetting that, and then focus on your supplements, focusing on your omega-3s particularly.
Yeah,
and just watching the amount of corn oil and sunflower oil. I mean, I don't have it. I don't have it in the house actually.
No, and actually, sometimes occasionally, you're out. We were in Cornwall in the summer, and we had fish and chips. I felt well. And it wasn't just the amount of grease. It was this sort of, I think it was that sort of omega-6 overload. I just felt rotten for a couple of days. I'm sure it was that.
Interesting. Are you happy to talk a little bit about, mental health and anxiety? You talked about that as being your journey, and obviously, somebody who, you mentioned OCD as a child, and, have you always had anxiety? Was that your kind of path through adolescence and growing up?
Yeah, yes, basically, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I had a difficult childhood, and both of my parents had mental illness. So I think I had a combination of, the loaded gun, so to speak, in terms of my brain.
Sure. Well, genetics play a huge part in mental health, definitely.
Yeah. And then triggered by difficult childhood, not by having parents with mental illness. So, the OCD started when I was 9. I mean, I still have it, but my therapist laughs, but, it's under control, my OCD.
Yeah, good.
And me really helped with that, definitely. Yeah. And you learn, I'm nearly 50 now, and I've learned some strategies to turn off the OCD radio. But, my background's advertising. I used to work in ad agency. And then had children, and so I knew nothing really about any of this, or running or supply chain, logistics, all the stuff that lots about.
So was that a kind of a personal journey for you, discovering how omega-3s just totally changed your own life and was helpful for your children? Is that kind of the eureka moment that thought, I have to do this and make this available for other people? Yeah, and it sounds corny and a bit sort of like it's marketing speak, but it's 100% genuinely, omega-3 can be life-changing. Life-changing, I know. It really can. And I'm not saying, you can eat McDonald's every day and chug down Coke and pop an omega-3. No, it doesn't work like that. But, the science is really there. I always say when people query things, go onto PubMed. PubMed is a really good website with all the peer-reviewed meta-analyses, the clinical trials, the placebo-controlled double-blind trials, the gold standards. And just look. I mean, you'd be here till kingdom come if you looked at all the omega-3 studies. Even if you put in omega-3 and depression or anxiety or sleep or mood or skin or psoriasis or, all of those things, it is just remarkable. And we are losing these from our food. We're eating less fish, even though in the UK we're a maritime nation. We're not eating as much fish. The fish that we do eat doesn't tend to be the oily kind, does it? It tends to be more the white fish, which, as we know, is full of iodine and it's got other kind of, goodness going on. But, if we're looking for those really important brain fats and we're living longer, our brains are expected to carry on for so much more time than they ever were before. Yeah. How are we going to put that good fat back into our brain? Somebody's asking about what we're talking about here. We're talking about bare biology. So, how many products do you have now in the range? Because you've got a new one out, haven't you? We have, with vitamin D added. Fantastic. Hopefully someone will send you some, but it looks like that's called Rise and Shine. Rise and Shine, fantastic. So what's that? So has that got the same amount of EPA and DHA? So it's slightly less. So it's basically the same as our Life and Soul range. Okay, which is this one. Lovely. Yeah, which I've got, which I love. Basically that. It's slightly less, just to fit in the vitamin D3 into the capsule, basically. Right. It's still a good 755 milligrams of EPA and 377 of DHA. And then there's 1,000 IU or 25 micrograms of vitamin D3. Mm-hmm. And D3 and omega-3 live together in fish naturally. Right. And vitamin D is a fat-soluble nutrient, so having it in that is perfect. Yeah. This would be a very good one for kids. Do you have it? Is it just in capsules, or do you do the liquid as well? It's just capsules at the moment. They're little mini ones though, which is really good. Little mini size. Yeah, so
Rise and Shine are a little bit bigger, but my 11-year-old can swallow these, no problem.
I discovered a really good way to help my 11-year-old swallow capsules, because he takes different things actually at different times, and that's to put it on a spoonful of yogurt. So I slip the, you know, if I'm giving him a tablet or something and it's a bit too big for him to swallow, just put it in a spoonful of yogurt, and then you just swallow that without, you don't even notice it's there. And that was a nurse that gave me that tip. A school nurse who was obviously having to give kids at school loads of things, and, you know, didn't want all the aggro of kids going, I can't swallow that, you know. So that's so worth trying if anybody's having issues, or perhaps with elderly parents, you know, wanting to swallow. But for me, I mean, I do absolutely love your liquids, and the fact that they are so concentrated. One little teaspoon, either just a spoonful, so easy to do, isn't it, in the morning, or add it into a smoothie or whatever, you don't even notice it. Is that the ratio that we should be looking for? It's kind of 2 to 1, isn't it? So 2,000, which way round is it? 2,000 DHA?
2,000 EPA.
2,000 EPA, so more of the EPA, which is the anti-inflammatory, and then half as much of the DHA, 1,000.
Yeah. So ours are roughly, sort of 2 to 1 ratio.
And that would be the same for any condition that you wanted to help? Yeah.
I mean, there are different schools of thought. Some people think just DHA is fine, and we do have a pure DHA product for pregnancy.
Really? And that again, I mean, that was fascinating. If anybody's late to the table and didn't hear that, the fact that when you're pregnant, your baby, little parasitic monkey, is just leaching everything out. So takes virtually all your omega-3s to build its own brain. I mean, like, thanks a lot, guys. And I knew that for calcium. I knew that, you know, when you're pregnant, you lose something like 10% of your skeleton, calcium in your skeleton, because that the baby is taking that to build its own skeleton. I guess it stands to reason. And I remember talking to the expert about that when I was doing, I think it was a podcast a couple of years ago about it now, and saying, well, you know, if I've had 5 children, does that mean that I've lost, you know, 50% of my calcium in my bones? And he said, well, yes. I was like, what? You know, is it any wonder? And then you go through, you know, menopause, and, you know, everything starts to... Is it any wonder that osteoporosis is such a killer for women? Yeah. And we get, you know, our bones break, and we suffer more fractures and need hip replacements, and we, you know, tend to hunch and stoop. So important to put things back into our bodies. You know, I guess we're living longer than we ever did. You know, the average life expectancy for women used to be, you know, around 60. You know, less than 50 years ago. I mean, we really are, you know, racing ahead in terms of longevity, and now it's kind of well up into the 80s. But how do we keep our bodies going without replenishing what we've lost?
No, exactly. And as you say, our food chain's not the way it was, and farms, for example, barely has any omega-3 in it anymore.
That's terrifying. So farm salmon not really having any omega-3. I guess it's because they're not feeding naturally on the algae, are they? They're just being fed artificial fish food. And also, somebody made the point really rightly earlier, is just be careful that your salmon isn't dyed. Because, you know, there's a lot of salmon dying, unfortunately, with farmed salmon, that it just looks so pale and insipid. So to make it look really healthy and juicy, they shove a load of artificial dye in it. I mean, they do that with chickens' eggs as well, actually. They put artificial dye to make the egg yolks look really dark and healthy.
It's depressing, isn't it? We were in the Outer Hebrides talking of that lovely face cream.
Were you?
In the summer. Some fishermen, and there was a big salmon farm just off, you know, you could sort of see it in the distance. And they had a lot of very bad things to say about what goes on in those.
Salmon
and really put me off salmon completely, unless it's completely wild.
I have to agree with you. I know it's so much more expensive. I mean, it's eye-watering, isn't it? But the difference in how it's produced is extraordinary. The issue with lice, sea lice, and then the medication that's used in fish farms to get rid of it. And I had a friend who had a smoked salmon business and had to give it up because the salmon that they were getting from the salmon farms was just disintegrating. I mean, it was just tails were falling off, and I mean, it was just awful. Really, really awful. So I guess, if we're avoiding things like farmed salmon but still want to get the benefits, then you can have, the sustainable oil that is pure and hasn't gone through any of that whole process. It's such a minefield, isn't it? And of course, these things just aren't labelled, and you just need to be a forensic expert in so much. Which is why I love having experts like you on who, you've built your entire brand on one ingredient, essentially, isn't it? With a few other little bits in between. But, it's essentially, it is the fish oil. That is totally your focus and your level of expertise and knowledge. Mm-hmm. So we can trust you, and you're making it for yourself and for your kids. So
yeah, we'll take it religiously. Everyone on my team takes it religiously.
Yeah. Question here, interesting question asked, how do we cancel out omega-6s? I mean, can we just take more omega-3s and cancel that out?
Yeah, up your omega-3 significantly, which is where the liquid... Because if you buy a high street or, supermarket omega-3, there'll only be a couple of 100 milligrams of EPA and DHA in it.
Okay. So again, it's a false economy. You may look at it and go, oh, well, this is really, so much cheaper. It's much better value. But actually it's not. There's a huge difference, isn't there, between price and value. So, the value is what something's giving you. And it's like we talked then about the absorption. Yes, of course, you can have chia seeds. They're going to have omega-3s in them. But if you're only absorbing 4%, it's not very good value when it comes to the amount of omega-3. So the same, yes, of course you can buy cheaper supplements, but if it's not going to give you the high levels of EPA and DHA that we need for our brains and for anti-inflammatory action, where's the value in that?
I know.
It's a false economy. I mean, I think we've become so used to being so price-driven without really questioning where the value is of something.
Yeah, that's our biggest challenge, is our products seem expensive if you compare them to Holland and Barrett, that's a couple of pounds for big VAT. But when you look,
but what's in there? What are you actually getting?
Yeah, because we are, our costs are going up, and we try, really don't want to put our prices up. But it's good quality ingredients.
Yeah, it's expensive to buy.
Manufacturing process, all those things. It costs money. So
yeah, of course it does.
Yeah, it's a bit like wine, a bottle that costs a couple of quid.
Yeah.
Tastes pretty foul.
It's going to be very different and produced in a very different way from something that is aged and, produced, with a bit more care perhaps. And
yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Can we overdose? This is the thing, because I'm now thinking, okay, so if a little is good, is more better?
I have to say that I think the official on the EFSA, which is the European Food Standards Authority, they say that 5,000 milligrams a day is safe.
Okay, so there's still a lot more than you're recommending here.
But and if you are on blood thinners, then you do have to be a bit careful. Probably check maybe with the doctor. But, I know there are psychiatrists in the US who prescribe 9,000 milligrams a day.
9,000, gosh.
Yeah.
And they're using that for kind of, obviously, if they're psychiatrists, are they using that then to help treat mental health?
As a therapeutic dose,
Interesting.
Technically you could overdose, I suppose, but I think unless you'd have to take an Yeah.
Really fascinating. And, there's a comment here from Sue, are we just be able to get everything from a healthy diet? Unfortunately, we can't, not if we're living longer and our diets are being so changed. We think of all the omega-6s that are in the processed foods and the limited amount of fish that we're eating. It's just not going to happen, sadly. Obviously in an ideal world, absolutely. Food is always first choice. Food is always, front of mind. And when you can't back it up, then food supplements, so not medicines, but things that are supplementary to foods from food sources like fish oils, are very much the way to go. Really. It's so interesting. And for children, is that is that a similar dose for children?
Again, it depends. I mean, we do have a children's liquid for young children, but they can also take the Life and Soul liquid.
Yeah.
If your child has maybe ADHD, autism, nutritional therapists will recommend quite high doses.
They will, absolutely. I know that, definitely, for sure.
Those. Otherwise, if it's a kind of just healthy brain maintenance, then we say maybe half a teaspoon, or it really varies. It varies on the child, but might take the full dose and kind of all the adult dose.
And let's just talk very briefly before you go, and while I've got you, there's a real issue, isn't there, with heavy metals in some fish?
Yes.
Can you talk us through that and give us some advice, generally? What's the issue with heavy metals like mercury in fish?
Well, so it's basically, I think someone mentioned this earlier actually, that the bigger the fish, the bigger the problem. So tuna...
That's a very easy way to remember it, isn't it? Big fish, big problem. I mean, easy. Yeah. So presumably something like swordfish, which you don't really see these days, but but is massive. And tuna. I mean, tuna is a hefty fish, isn't it? A big size. If you see tuna in the wild, it's huge.
Yeah. So in pregnancy, you'll avoid swordfish completely because of the mercury levels.
Mercury, really interesting.
Limit your tuna in pregnancy. Yeah. So just basically what the fish are taking in from the sea is also polluted, as we know, with plastic, which breaks down into PCBs, which are carcinogenic. And the bigger the fish, the longer they live, the more their flesh can literally kind of absorb those things.
Right.
So we use little fish, sardine, anchovies, mackerel. They have a short lifespan.
Yeah, and they're kind of that size, aren't they? They're much smaller on the plate.
Tiny.
Anchovies
and
are teeny things.
Purification process. Any residual things like that are removed, and then we also get our products tested by international fish oil standards. You don't just have to take our word for it. You can look at all of our results on their website and see exactly the down cadmium, arsenic. There's a whole there's about things that get tested.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Really fascinating. So, I think the bottom line is, if you're choosing fish to buy, choose the smaller ones. So sardines, sprats, anchovies, herring, mackerel, the smaller fish, rather than when you go into the fishmongers, the ones that do still exist, you see bits of big fish, obviously, compared to seeing all the little fish. Go for the smaller size fish then if you're buying fish.
And just big fish.
Yeah, big fish, bigger problem. And lastly, while we've got you, sorry, I will let you go in a minute. It's too interesting, the conversation. Is there a particular time of day that we should be taking our liquid oils, and do we need to take them on an empty stomach or with other food?
Generally, we advise with food, because it just helps with the absorption, digestion, but there's no fast rule. Lots of people take them in the morning, but it doesn't have to be on an empty stomach, or I always see a supplement, I think you've got to take it in a certain window before you eat, and it's just a pain, and I don't think it really any difference.
And Penny here was asking, what was that fish mnemonic that we had? There was one ages ago. Was it when I was with you talking about fish oils? And I forget now. Salmon, what was it called? Same? Was it maybe salmon, anchovy, mackerel, something or other? There was a special word. I can't remember. Prizes if anybody can remember that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm sure it was salmon, anchovy, mackerel, herring. Was it smash? Maybe it was smash. What would that be? Salmon, mackerel, anchovy, sardine, herring. Yeah, I think it was smash fish. It was just all the little ones. Yes, smash, there you go. Thank you. We all remembered it. We did eventually anyway. Really fascinating. Thank you. And thank you for giving us the Liz Loves discount. And I know that a lot of people are stocking up. And it's great to be able to recommend something that is safe. Just that word of caution then, if you are on blood thinners particularly. Is that because fish oils will further thin the blood?
Yes.
Okay. So could you then, okay, I guess this is a medical question which you probably won't be able to answer, but let me have your view if you can. If you're taking a medication to thin the blood, would you not be better off to take fish oil because that would give you the health benefits and also thin the blood at the same time?
I mean, I would say yes.
I know you're not allowed to say that, probably because you're not licensed. It's not a medical product. But think about it. Let's just process this through. Thinking, while I sit here, if I'm taking a medicine to thin my blood, but that medicine is then not letting me fortify my brain and my body with EPA and DHA, wouldn't I be better to discuss with my doctor and say, actually, can we just leave the medicine to one side? I'll get the blood thinning effects from the fish oil, because that's also then going to give me the anti-inflammatory EPA and the brain boosting DHA. Wouldn't that be better?
Yeah, and the same for statins.
Don't get me started on statins. I have recorded a podcast with the consultant cardiologist, Dr. Asim Malhotra. I'm not sure if you've come across him.
Yeah, I'm an avid follower.
Yeah. So he and I have had long chats on statins, and his whole book, he's got a new book out all about statins. So don't ask me questions on statins. I am not the expert, but I defer to the one who has done all the research on that and is medically qualified to talk about it. So
yes, I'm not a medical professional and all those caveats, but I'd say research. And someone just mentioned, Big Pharma don't make money out of people taking fish oils and eating healthily.
No, whereas they do if you have to take a blood thinner. But something to certainly discuss. Discuss with your doctor, do some research if that's something that applies to you or a member of your family. Just think it through, just question it. And actually, I don't want to be in a position where I can't fortify my EPA and DHA. It's... Yeah,
No.
so Dr. Asim Malhotra, is he Lifestyle Medicine on Instagram, I think?
I follow him on Twitter.
Oh, do you? Okay. Yeah, I'm not really big on Twitter. I mean, I do a little bit of Twitter occasionally, but I find it quite a scary place to be, so...
It's horrible. I'm just... It's like...
I'm there as an observer, really. I follow quite a few people who I like to see what they're up to, but...
Yes.
Thank you. So Dr. Deb just shared it, Lifestyle Medicine Doctor on Instagram. He's got a great website too, actually. I'm sure maybe Lainey, you can pop the website link up on Facebook if you like, so people can go and see.
Yeah. And
Very
if you're lucky
interesting.
enough to be a functional medicine practitioner, there aren't many in the UK, but there are some.
Increasingly.
GPs. Yeah, because a lot of GPs will just go, no, that's rubbish, it's snake oil, just take your statins, sadly. But yeah, right doctor, I think, is helpful.
Yeah. I've just realised the time. I could talk to you all day. It's so fascinating. I think everyone's been really enjoying this conversation. Thank you. Really lovely to chat again and to remind us all of why we need these fish oils, why we need the EPA and DHA. And if you were late and you missed it, there is the vegan and veggie version, which will give you the EPA and DHA from your algae, okay, which is the right source. So the algae source, which is really good, with that amazing astaxanthin, which is another ingredient that I love. Thank you. Go well. Huge good luck with everything that you're doing. I hope that your brand continues to thrive and grow.
Thank you, Liz.
You really deserve every success. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Nice to see you. You're going to have to leave me, my lovely, because if I click off, then I lose everybody.
So how do I leave you?
I think, is there a little square at the top maybe that clicks
hopefully
goodbye?
Work. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Really so fascinating, honestly. I mean, I have to say, I say this every day, don't I? I love my job. And it's so nice to sit here live. Obviously, we can be interactive, and I try and follow as many comments as I can. Apologies if I miss some. But actually, a lot of these brand founders, like we heard with Zana on Monday, they're so open to having conversations. You know, Zana, she said, just email me, you know, what was it, zana@zanamorris.com. Ask her a question if you want to know about Amino Slim or creatine or any of these things, you know. And I'm sure the same with Mel. And, you know, you can contact her. Bear Biology is the brand. And I'm sure, you know, you can contact her on her website or on Instagram. And I'm sure she's got a Facebook page as well. So thank you very much indeed. 15% Liz loves on all of their lovely things. And it has been a really timely reminder for me to make sure that I have my supplies in. Some of you who are late, I won't tell you off, but I will just reach down here because I know there was so much chat. Oh gosh, it's heavy. This is my weighted blanket from Calm Koala. And we have managed to get 10% off. And there is an amazing sale deal on at the moment. And I think it was Betty who messaged to say that these lovely double ones, they are so fabulous for anxiety and just to keep you calm, to sleep under a weighted blanket. What it does to your parasympathetic nervous system. You get the best night's sleep, trust me. Anyway, so that 10% is, you can apply on top of their current offers. And I think she was saying that the double blankets are normally like £200, £199. But with their discount, with their sale and the Liz Loves discount, it brings it down to about 71. So it's saving like £130. Amazing, okay? But I'm sure that's not going to last. So do rush. Calm Koala, spelt with a K, like koala. Calm, K-A-L-M, calmkoala.com. Next week, coming up, make a note for your diaries because I'm going to be talking on Monday, Makeover Monday, Back to Beauty with one of my favourite British beauty brands, which is Neal's Yard. I've got some of their lovely things here. They're beautiful, iconic glass packaging, the blue glass. This is absolutely heavenly. I had a shower with this morning. It's called Shower Oil, and it's the Women's Balance Shower Oil. Smells just delicious. So many good things in here. Macadamia nut, sea buckthorn oil, leaves your skin so soft. Listen to this. Rose Absolute, geranium and frankincense. Just lovely for this time of year when you want something just a bit cozy and just sensual and delicious. Really, really good. We have managed to secure a Liz Loves discount. Delighted to say. So these are all our affiliate discount codes. 15% off everything there at Neal's Yard. But I'm going to be talking aromatherapy and oils and how to mix oils, how to make your own bath blends, all of that, which will be so good. Going back, look, it's a real oil theme at the moment. So fish oils for the brain and the body, and then essential oils coming up for the mind and the mood and skin and all of that. Just to say, also talking about mood and anxiety, lots of you loving Saffra Sun. This is particularly for anxiety. Okay, it's a crocus extract. Love it. Love talking to Kevin Levers, who is the pharmacist founder of Naked Pharmacy. They do two versions. They do this one for adults. Took mine this morning. And just because I felt I needed a bit of a pick-me-up. And I also give it to my children. They do a children's version. And again, we do have the Liz Loves discount code for that. I think it is 20%. Yes. 20% on everything at Naked Pharmacy. Thank you very much. This has got vitamin B12 as well as the crocus extract. And then, of course, the other thing that I did touch on a little bit with omega-3s is that they are actually describing omega-3s now in many circles as probiotics because they do have an impact on the microbiome. And, of course, microbes for microbiome. Love these. So we've got resilience. This is the one perhaps at the moment with all the bugs around at the moment. We've got the Bio Live Gold. This is the one, I'm halfway through this. This is the one that I've been taking recently. There is Bio Live Revive. And we've got here, what's this one here? Bio Live Breathe. Gosh. So yeah, so anybody who is particularly interested in microbes, and that's spelt microbes with a Z at the end. Really good. And again, the nice thing about these is they're liquids. So you're not having to, you know, take powders or capsules or tablets or anything like that. Just a spoonful of that. Really good. And I've done lives several times with the founders of Microbes. Really interesting company. In fact, if you saw my magazine, current issue of the magazine, there is an interview with the founders. talking about everything that they do. Talking about magazine, I'll show you one last time in case you missed it, just because I think it's so much fun. This is going to be with you soon. I haven't got the real magazine yet. I've only got, this is just the proof that I get sent from the printers that shows you the front and the back as it comes off, just to check. We check colour balance and all that kind of thing to make sure that it's all looking good and looking sparkly with our little friend Basil. So this will be winging its way to you in about a week's time, but I just wanted to show you in advance. Let me know if you get yours, please. I'd love to hear. It's like the first cuckoo of spring. Who's going to have the first magazine landing on their doormat? Let me know. Send me a picture. I'd love to see. And you're going to have to be quick if you want these, because this, I know, is just going to be an absolute sellout. Ishka, this is worth £75, an absolutely delicious marine cream with the seaweed. Seaweed is so good for the skin. Oh my goodness, it's just so nourishing and calming and just rich. And texture is great, and it smells like the Outer Hebrides too. It's really like a breath of fresh air on your skin. This is worth £75, full-size jar of cream, and it's free, basically. Free with every subscription. So if you want that for yourself, if you need to get a subscription because you haven't already subscribed, this is the time to do it. Please don't wait. If you want to give somebody a gift subscription, then sign them up. They get the magazine all throughout the year, and it's still the saving. You still get 6 issues for the price of 5 and free P&P, so it's still a really good deal. But you could then get the cream sent to you if you want it. But if you want that to happen, you have to speak to Warners, okay? You pick up the phone, and there's a number on the website, and it is really good. Okay, so just talk to them. They will sort you out. Valerie, I can see your comment there. I suggest you pick up the phone and talk to Warners, okay? And there you go. I mean, I told you, what more can I say? But if you want the cream sent to you, you have to tell Warners, otherwise they send it to the same place they send the magazine to, which is lovely. You know, why not? I mean, if, you know, have one for you and one for a friend. I mean, just get it sent for free. Why not? Because they will love you for it. That is it. Lovely to be with you. Sorry, I've gone on a bit long today, but it was worth it. I hope you feel, because so much information to share. And just every time I talk to these experts, I learn a little bit more, and it just reinforces for me the importance of looking after our brains and our bodies. Thank you very much. Lovely pen. Great comment saying, brilliant live today, Liz, packed with goodness. Yes, that's what we want, packed with goodness. Thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of the week. Tomorrow, if you're watching me in real time, tomorrow's Thursday, there's a new video going up on YouTube. Bit of fun. I filmed it at home. I think you might like it, so do watch that on YouTube. Make sure that you're subscribed to the Earle Wellbeing YouTube channel. Friday, of course, is newsletter day, and it's also podcast day. There's also a new podcast going live today as well, because it's Wellbeing Wednesday. So much to enjoy, and thanks for being with me. Thanks for all your nice comments. See you again on Monday. See you again with Neil's Yard. Yeah, have a look at that. But meanwhile, there is a Liz Loves if you want to check out anything on Neil's Yard. The discount is now live. See you soon. Bye-bye.